What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another part of the LS swap. Today what we're going to be doing is trying to shave this intake. I've seen how they look whenever they're shaved, and I personally like the look of it. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do today. These things are cheap if I mess it up, but I'm going to try and shave it. So I got to get everything off here first. I got to remove everything that's on it that I don't need. So let me get to that, and then let me show you where we're at once everything is off that I don't need. Okay, so I've got everything off this intake that I don't need on it right anymore. And I think what I'm going to do, I got to take all these tabs, these bracing tabs off. And I think I'm going to try with this zipper wheel first. I'm going to try that. If it doesn't work, I do have a Sawzall sitting over here. But I'm going to try this first and see how this goes. I'm going to get everything chopped off and go from there. So let me get it all zipped off there. Save these little pieces that you cut off because you're going to use them as filler. Okay, so I've got everything chopped off of it that I don't need. Now what I gotta do is grind all of this stuff flat. So make it a flat surface. And then I will proceed to fill the holes with some plastic. Again, I'm gonna fill these holes with the plastic that I chopped off like this. I'll just take this, cut it to the size that I need, and fill it in. So, first things first, let me get this all smoothed out and sanded down. Okay, so I've got it now sanded down. I took my grinder right here with a floppy disk, and it made a disaster, but it worked. And I just knocked down all these edges. And what I see a lot of times, I've seen this done quite a few times, like on the internet, where people shave their intakes, and they take all of these ridges down. And I've read somewhere that it makes the top of the intake flimsy. So what I did was I just shaved everything down to where it was about flush with these ridges. And I'm hoping to keep some structural rigidity to this. And then I'll take some body filler and lay over top once I'm done filling these holes. And I've actually done a couple of them on the other side just to kind of get a test of it, see how it works. Like that one's totally done. I am working on this one, and this one, and that hole there. So what I gotta do is I just got my plastic that I cut off of this, and I just take it and cut it to the right size, and then I take my soldering iron and I poke holes into it all the way around, like you can see done on this one. And then I have another, it's not a soldering iron, but it's, well, pretty much a soldering iron. This is for plastic welding, and I just took the tip off of it, and it gets hot. So what it does is it actually just smooths it out, and that's how I smoothed this one out. So I took some plastic that was left over that I cut off, smoothed it out with this, and filled it in if I had to. So that's where I'm at, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and continue working on. I did mess up here, so hopefully I get this filled. With the Sawzall, I cut it and it kind of cut down, but Hopefully I can get that filled. That shouldn't be a big deal. And then I'm gonna go ahead and fill all these holes now, get it patched up. And then it's gonna be time for the body filler. So let me get these patched up real quick. So this is where I'm at. I've got all the holes filled. I've got it pretty much smooth. I'm probably gonna go over it with some sandpaper just to kind of smooth it down a little bit more. And then I've got my body filler I gotta put on it. So this is where I'm at. These are actually, they're filled and they're pretty solid. I don't think there's gonna be any issue with these. Like, they're solid. There's no issue. There's a couple pinholes in all these, but the body filler is actually gonna fill that up. So I'm gonna go grab the body filler, get it over here, and then get it laid on top. So let's do that. Okay guys, so here's where I'm at with this. I've got my first layer of fiberglass resin. This is what I'm using. This Dynaglass fiberglass filler. I've got it laid on top. Got one coat on there already. And I've got it sanded down. I've got a couple pinholes that I've got to get filled. Like right there. Actually, I got quite a few pinholes. So I'm going to go through now. I'll probably put another just thin, fill these holes. And then put a thin coat over top of it and sand it back down again and hope that I got it. And that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to get my second coat of my resin on there, my fiberglass on there, and then I'll get it sanded down and hopefully I got it. So let's see how this turns out. Okay, so I've got my actually third coat on here right now. So I think a second ago I actually just told you guys it was my second coat, or maybe my first coat. The coat I just showed you that I had sanded down was my second coat. So the first coat I actually had on some Bondo, and it was some old Bondo, didn't work out very well. So I had some in there, and I sanded that down, and then I took a first coat of this right here, which is the Dynaglass. It's a fiberglass filler, and I put it over it, and then after it cured, which is about 45 minutes, I sanded that down. So this is actually going to be my third coat. This is a really light coat. I just tried to fill some imperfections that I had, and it's just a really light coat over the whole surface. And then I'm going to wait till this dries, so I got about 45 minutes to wait. And for you guys, you know, it'll be like that. It'll be done here in a couple seconds, but I'm going to give it about 45 minutes to dry up, and then I will sand it down again and see if I got any more imperfections or any more little dimples or divots in it that I got to fill. And I'm hoping it comes out fairly smooth, and right now, I mean, looking at it, it's actually fairly smooth all the way over, and there's not a whole lot of ripples in it like I see a lot of times. So once I get it sanded down, we'll see how it looks and go from there. Okay, so I've got it totally sanded down now, and I think it's about as good as I'm gonna get it. I'm not gonna work anymore on this. It's actually pretty smooth. So what I'm gonna do is just clean it up. I got it somewhat cleaned up already, and I'm gonna end up cleaning it thoroughly and then shooting it with some spray paint. So let me get it cleaned, shot with some paint, and let me show you how it looks once I'm totally done. Okay, as you can see, I've got my first coat of paint on it. It's a really light coat, just to get it covered. So I'm gonna let this dry for a while. Sorry about the dust floating around on the screen, but I'm gonna let this dry for a little while and come back and hit it with a couple more coats. But I gotta tell you, it's coming out pretty good. I mean, there's a couple spots that could have been better, but I kind of gave up on sanding, like right in here. That could have been better, but if I layer it up on paint, it might just cover that up and we'll be good. And then along with this line you see back there, it's gonna be covered. But it's turned out pretty dang good so far. So let me get a couple more coats of paint on this and show you guys how the final finished product looks. And here we have it. It's done. I've got the majority of my stuff bolted on. The intake is not bolted down, but I don't think I'm gonna do that until I get the engine in, because I don't wanna have a chain running from here over the intake. But it is in, it is painted, it's fully dried, and this is the final result. This is how it looks. I'm pretty pleased with it. I mean, there's things that could be better on it, that's for sure. And this is actually back here where I relocated all of my ports. I got these. I got my intake pressure sensor right there, and the wire is gonna come up from down here. I think it's this one. It's gonna plug in right there, just like that. So I'm pleased. It came out fairly decently. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about it at all. I like it. It's a heck of a lot better than it used to be. So I'm not gonna complain. This is the final product, and I'm happy. So there is a journey to shaving the truck intake. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, leave a comment down below if you had any suggestions on how I could have done things differently, or how you had done it, or if you have any questions about how I did anything. And be sure to subscribe. If you're new to subscribe, then make sure you click that bell notification. As always, guys, have a great day. Catch you guys in the next video.